Before we start this week's episode of For Fun Friday, we have two new supporters to shout out. Two warriors, in fact. We've got the Spirit of Nerdiness as well as Mr. Johnson joining the aforementioned warrior tier. Thank you kindly for your support, and make sure to join the Discord and notify me so that you can get all of your benefits. Now, on to this week's episode of For Fun Friday. Greetings and welcome back once again to For Fun Friday, the show where I, your cat entertaining host... Hi kitty, you wanna come say hi? You wanna be on video? Here's a cat on video. She's not very happy whenever I speak loudly, but today she'll have to deal with it. And today, we're taking a look at Trif's favorite pastime, Pendulum. That's an intro, we're rolling with that. Yes, today we're taking a look at Pendulum Magicians specifically, because I've actually been getting really into playing this deck lately. It's surprisingly fun. I would not say it's worth its price point at $400 just about, but god damn it if this deck can't do a couple of things. This deck is courtesy of yours truly today. I've actually sat down and constructed this mess of a deck somewhat myself. So let's just go through the deck, shall we? First of all, we're playing an Artifact Scythe, because this deck has a very easy time Scythe-locking our opponent, and it's just a good card in the current format. Let's not kid ourselves here. We're also playing a Fairy Tale Snow. Fairy Tale Snow does an amazing amount in this deck, considering most of the pendulums that end up in the graveyard are completely useless to us afterwards. There's one card that has interaction with it, but we'll get there. But Snow actually does a lot of things right now that she's unbanned. Banish 7 cards from anywhere on the field, the graveyard, or hand, summon Snow, and Snow gets to flip a card face down. There's a lot of ways we can send Snow to the graveyard, surprisingly, so it's really good. Then we're playing our only hand trap in this list, which is Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler just happens to be a spellcaster, which we need in terms for Selene, so it's good. We're then playing 2 Tuning Magician, which is our second Selene and Hulk target, and is also just a generic extender as long as we have 2 Magician cards in our Pendulum zones. We then have our 1 Astrograph Sorcerer. Astrograph is back, baby! Together with Snow, we can now Astrograph stuff. So, its Pendulum effect is decent. During the main phase, we can destroy this card, and if we do, we take 1 Stargazer Magician from our hand or deck, another place in the Pendulum Zone, or special summon it. We don't run Stargazer, so in this specific list, that does nothing. Its actual effect, though, if a card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can choose 1 monster in the graveyard, extra deck, or that is banished, and that was destroyed this turn, and add 1 monster with the same name from your deck to your hand. You can banish this card you control, plus 4 monsters from your hand, field, or deck, each one with the Pendulum Dragon or whatever, to special summon a Supreme King Zark. More importantly, this is just resource looping. If something we need is destroyed, say by like a Gamma or a something whatever, we can get a copy of it back as long as we're holding Astrograph. It's quite useful, actually. It's also a 2500 beater, and it's a dark, so it sort of synergizes together with Double Iris Magician, but we'll get there. Then we're playing 3 Oath Dragon Magician, the reason this deck really works to begin with. As long as you have another Magician in your other Pendulum Zone, we can add a Face of Magician or Odd Eyes Pendulum Monster from our extra deck to our hand, which means we can loop resources that we can't necessarily Pendulum Summon. When it's summoned to the field, you can target 1 Magician Pendulum or Odd Eyes Monster in your graveyard, except it, and add it to your hand. It is a perfect resource looping tool. It's amazing. Oath Dragon's great. Then we're playing now 3 copies of Skullcrobat Joker. Skullcrobat back at 3, baby. Basically, you will normal summon this and search a Performapal Magician or Odd Eyes Pendulum Monster. It is very, very useful as it gets half of our combo started. It's wonderful. Double Iris Magician is a staple for most of these types of Magician Pendulum decks. Simply put, if it is destroyed, you can add a Pendulum Graph card from your deck to your hand, and it can choose to destroy itself to double the damage a Dark Spellcaster monster will deal if it battles a monster. So basically, you can put this on any Dark Spellcaster, it will deal double damage if it's attacking a monster, and you get to search yourself your Time Pendulum Graph or Star Pendulum Graph. Generically speaking, you'll search Time, though. Then we have Celestial Magician. Celestial Magician is the reason you can pop off in this deck at all. During your main phase, if this is normal special summon, you can apply the following effects for the rest of this turn based on the other monsters you currently control. If you control a fusion monster, this card can attack directly. If you control a synchro, which is the important one here, your opponent cannot activate monster effects for the rest of the turn. This saves you from Nibiru. This saves you from being hand trapped. This saves you from just about everything you could ever want to do, which is why we're running it. Also, if you control another pendulum, you get to add a pendulum monster to the deck to the hand at the end phase. It's just a great resource tool. Then we're playing 3 Performapal Pendulum Sorcerer. Pendulum Sorcerer, when it is pendulum or special summoned, you get to target up to 2 cards you control and destroy them, and if you do, add Performapal monsters with different names will be decked to your hand except Pendulum Sorcerer. This, of course, can search as Skullcrabat Joker. It can also search as a bunch of other cards in our deck. And then its pendulum effect. If a Performapal monster is pendulum summoned to your field, all Performapal monsters you critically control gain 1,000 attack until the end of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. So if you scale this and you pendulum summon another Performapal monster, which there's not that many of, we have Skullcrabat Joker and we have Celestial. Both of these are Performapals. So if you summon any of them, all of them gain 1,000 attack, which helps with OTKs. Wisdom My Magician we play as well, simply because if you have another Magician or Performapal card in your other Pendulum Zone, you can destroy this and you can immediately set Oath Dragon from the deck. It also, you know, ends up in the extra deck, so it's just a free level 4 on the board when we Pendulum Summon. It's really, really good. Just play it. You can also discard this, then target one card in your Pendulum Zone, whose current Pendulum scale is different from its original scale, and its Pendulum scale becomes its original scale till the end of the turn. This is only applicable for one card in our deck, which is Time Gazer, and you probably will never do that ever. Purple Poison Magician. We're playing 1. I don't see a reason to play more of them. We can search it out if we feel that we need it. Once per turn, if a Dark Spellcaster monster battles before damage calc, you can activate this effect. That monster gains 1,200 attack until the end of the damage step, then destroy Purple Poison Magician. And of course, if it is destroyed, we can target a face-up card on the field and destroy it. It's double removal most of the time. We're then playing Harmonizing Magician. Harmonizing Magician, when it special summons another Pendulum monster from the deck, which we will make Oath Dragon Magician with 99% of the time. This will allow us to immediately synchro into Baron de Fleur, because, my god, that is something we can do now. And then Time Gazer Magician. This is only really here because it is an alternate scale as well as a level 3, in case we need to do some weird, wacky plays. It also protects our Pendulum Zone somewhat, so it's kind of there. You could replace this with anything, just about. Then we're playing 3 Duelist Alliance. As long as we have a Pendulum scale, we can add a Pendulum monster from our deck. We're playing a Harpy's Feather Duster because this deck hates back row like all Pendulum decks do. We're playing 3 Pendulum Call, which we discard a card and we add 2 Magician Pendulum monsters with different names from our deck to our hand. Also, until the end of your opponent's next turn, Magician cards in your Pendulum Zones cannot be destroyed by card effects. Simply put, this protects our back row decently well, and it searches us both of our scales. It's a great card. Amazing. Something to note with this, though, you can't activate this card if you activated a Magician Pendulum effect this turn. Meaning, if we use Wisdom Eye's Magician's effect, we can't actually use Pendulum Call. Kind of unfortunate, but that is the way it is. And the last 2 cards, we're playing a Star Pendulum Graph. Basically, when a Magician Pendulum monster leaves your monster Pendulum Zone, we add another Magician. And Time Pendulum Graph, which simply put lets us pop a card on our opponent's field, and if for some reason the card we attempted to pop is protected, we can send 1 card to the graveyard. It's very nice. Extra deck-wise, we're playing Baron de Fleur, because this is the easiest way to summon Baron, I think, ever. Sword Soul can do it too, but hey, so can Pendulum. We then got a TG Wonder Magician. The reason we're playing this is because of Halki Fibrax and Artifact Scythe. So we can end our board on a Crystron Halki Fibrax and anything else. Then during our opponent's main phase, we can tag this out to Synchro Summon TG Wonder Magician, and Wonder Magician will pop Artifact Scythe. Then, if we have, when Scythe is special summoned, rather, this is a tuner, this is a level 5, meaning we can actually, once per chain, during your opponent's main phase, you can immediately Synchro Summon using this card, meaning that for some reason, if our Baron is returned to the deck, we can actually go whoop, whoop, and into Baron. It's kind of nice. Then we're playing Zeus. Utopia, the lightning package, is in here because this gets over a lot of troublesome cards we couldn't get over otherwise, because our general attack stat in this deck is fairly low. So things like Chaos Max, Avra Max, they're all terrible for us. So we're playing Utopia the Lightning as an out. We then have Time Star Magician, which allows us to search and protect our back row. Baguska to sit and stall if we need it. Tornado Dragon as an alternative way to destroy our Artifact Scythe. Axis Code Talker, Appaloosa. Selene double, because we do need to go through a couple of Selenes when we play this deck, and just having to is fine. Artifact Dagda to sort out our Artifact Scythe. Crystal Haki Firebacks for obvious reasons, and an Artemis the Magistus Moon Maiden, simply if we need to link away something to return it to the extra deck. That's it, folks. We're playing some Pendulums today. Let's go. It's time for Pendulum, ladies and gentlemen. Pew, 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 pew. Oh, this hand is not looking great, actually. This hand is one of those hands where you go, oh yeah, that's something. All right, we're gonna have to scale our Harmonizing Magician here and then activate Duelist Alliance. Duelist Alliance needs to search us a 2 scale, unfortunately, or a Pendulum Call. I'm starting to believe that Pendulum Call here is the correct choice, so we're gonna do that. We're going to activate the Pendulum Call. We're going to send the Harmonizing Magician in order to search our last Harmonizing Magician, as well as... We're just sort of looping through the deck as good as we can here. We're going to search the Oath Dragon Magician. The reason we do this is so that we can scale the Oath Dragon. We can then Pendulum Summon out our Harmonizing Magician. This will activate Harmonizing Magician's effect to summon out another Oath Dragon Magician. We can't trigger Oath Dragon because it's negated, of course, so there's not much we can do there. But with this, we can at the very least summon Baron. Then we can activate the effect of the Oath Dragon Magician to return the Harmonizing Magician to our hand. But unfortunately, that's kind of where our play ends here, because we only opened a single Pendulum card. It's a little bit unfortunate, but we have a negate, and if he's an idiot, he'll pop our Scythe, and then we have a lot of interactions. We also have an Effect Veiler in hand. That is an annoying card, actually. Dark Magician's Circle could be really bad. We're actually going to choose to negate it. If we're playing up against Dark Magician, that card is really bad. Here we have a Magician's Rod, which is expected, so we are going to Effect Veiler this. Just leave him with as little as possible. He has a Souls in hand, which is unfortunate, but there is not much we can do about that. He's going to special summon the Souls. Most likely he's going to go and make Dragoon here, is my guess. Of course he is. Alright. Expected. There's not much we can do about that when he opens both the extenders. Quite the oof. There is Dragoon. We do have outs for Dragoon, but getting to them is going to be slightly difficult. It's not the end of the world. We need another level 4 here, and if we get that, then it's fine. I don't know... Oh, he's negating it to gain 1,000 attack. Okay. That's an interesting choice. Sure. That is an out. I'll say that. He also has the back row, meaning probably we are going to die here, but Duelist Alliance is interesting. It is not great, though. I'll say that much. We'll go for the Duelist Alliance. If he's going to negate it, he's going to negate it. Because if he doesn't, he knows I have the free reign to do whatever I want, essentially. He does negate it. Okay. Very interesting choice. We're now going to go for the Pendulum Magician Special Summon. I'm going to activate it. We're going to see if he has, like, a back row for it. He does not, apparently. Okay. We'll go for the Wisdom Eye Magician here. Oh, Summon Limit, huh? Yeah, that does end it. Well, that's super unfortunate. Someone playing Dragoon into Floodgate. Who would have guessed? It's like it's 2018, or 2020 all over again, rather. Oh, well, we'll go for another one. Alright, well, here we try again, I suppose, because the last opponent literally did not play a card the entire time. We are going first, surprisingly. That's not terrible, but also our entire hand right now is only looking, as far as I can say, okay. It's not looking entirely great. We'll go for the activation of Double Iris here, and we'll then go for the Duelist Alliance. Duelist Alliance here is probably going to search us the Pendulum Sorcerer, I think is the best call. We're then going to go for the Pendulum Call, pitching the Feather Duster, because we are not going to need that to search out the Harmonizing, as well as the Celestial Magician. With this now on the board here, I think we're going to scale the Purple Poison Magician, just giving us perfect scales, essentially, and then we're going to just Pendulum Summon our entire gosh darn hand. With everything summoned, we're going to trigger the Harmonizing Magician to Special Summon, and we're going to trigger the Pendulum Sorcerer in order to get rid of the Double Iris Magician, so that we can search Time Pendulum Graph. It is protected. Haha, you fools, I lied! Yeah, so something about Pendulum Call that you need to pay attention to is the fact that it protects your back row. Meaning, generally speaking, cards that need to be popped can no longer be popped. That's why you can't activate Magician's effects first, but it's still kind of interesting, so we're just going to go for this. It is also the best way in order for us to actually protect our summon here, because that is what we're doing with Pendulum Sorcerer. We're just protecting the summon. Let's go for Baron, now that we have the availability to do so. Yeah, Mr. Vermilion, do you have a response to the 5th summon, maybe? You have a response? Huh? He doesn't. Shocker. Alright, we'll go Celestial Magician effect here, which will stop him from activating monster effects, as well as searching us another Pendulum. Pendulum! Because we don't have Oath Dragon in our scale now, our Harmonizing Magician is unfortunately just kind of stuck where it is, which sucks, I suppose, but... Alright, with that in mind, I think... we have an issue here because we don't really have a lot of anything to summon off of these two. And that kind of sucks, so we'll just go ahead and we will make Tornado Dragon. Tornado Dragon here will allow us to pop our purple Poison Magician in case we need the interaction. It's kind of the only reason I'm summoning it here. You could run any other 4 control tool if you'd really want. We're going to search the Joker. It can also be helpful in case our opponent plays something like, I don't know, Zombie World or whatever they're doing. You know, you never know. But yeah, any level 4 here is free to go into if you have a preferred one. Time Thief Redoer is actually really good. I would suggest running that if you happen to own one. Redoer is just kind of... It's kind of a very generic 4, which, yeah, it is what it is, but you get what I mean. It's a 4 that fits in almost any situation. We're going to get impermed immediately. I kind of figured. Sucks, but it's like... He's imperming the Tornado Dragon. That's interesting. That's fine. That's an interesting choice. Why Tornado Dragon? Huh. Is he gonna activate, like, Mystic Mine or something? Because then, yeah, then it makes sense that he would do Tornado Dragon, but... Tornado Dragon, set 1. What? I'm confused? Uh-huh, set another, I see. Okay. Well, color me confused, because that's what I am. We're gonna attempt to pop the back row? It's an imperm, again. Okay. Hitting the Baron, sure. We will normal summon Skullcrobat Joker. Joker will search us, in this case, I think another Celestial Magician, actually. We'll go for a Duelist Alliance as well. We'll search out the... I think we're gonna search out the Star Pendulum Graph here. We don't really need anything else. Let's make sure not to activate it in the imperm column, because that is something that I tend to do. And then we're just going to... What? What? Yo, okay, I have no idea what just happened, but apparently I Pendulum summoned for 0. That's a thing. Never seen that in my life before. Anyway, let's go Baron into the set card. It is an Ash Blossom. That's very unfortunate. We'll go Tornado Dragon. We'll go Skullcrobat. Nah. Right, strange mysteries aside, let's make ourselves a Zeus in defense position. And we'll just pass turn on that. This man must have bricked super hard if he drew Imperm, Ash Blossom. That's kind of sad. Alright, Zeus and Baron. I don't necessarily want to use Zeus here because we actually have a really good board state, but it is what it is. Cat's having a nap. What's it gonna be then, big boy? Big boy Vermilion. Do you have an out, Vermilion? If you do not have an out, please surrender. Yes. Would you like to give up? Yay! Surrender! They don't have an out. I mean, if you're opening Imperm, Ash Blossom, I kind of see why. But honestly, that's not terrible. We'll count that. That's a win for us. We'll go game 3. I mean, with a name like Dragon Master, I guess I really am screwed, right? But we'll see what we can do. Our starting hand is actually not terrible. Oath Dragon and Purple Poison is a really good start. But it kind of depends on what he ends up putting on the field here as Mr. Dragon Master. Opening time Pendulum Graph isn't horrible, but it's doable. He's playing Exosister. This actually becomes kind of a problem because the banishing Exosister really sucks for us. Only summoning Elis, though. He must have bricked if Elis is his only play. But, ooh, opening Celestial Magician as well. Ooh. That's really good. Okay, we're going to scale Oath Dragon. Then, unfortunately, the only real 8 scale we have here is Celestial, so we're going to do that. Scaling the boys. We are then going to Pendulum Summon. All 3, baby. Pendulum! We'll try to trigger Harmonizing here. It does get ashed, which I kind of expected it to be. Which isn't really the end of the world. Oh, we're getting hit by Vadis. Vadis actually is really annoying because it will just special summon, what are the names? It's Sophia and Irene, yeah. That's annoying. Moves a card out of either graveyard. Well, I'm not going to do that. So, we are just gonna go for the Baron. We're then gonna activate the Oath Dragon Magician to get our Harmonizing back. Normal summoning the Harmonizing. And at this point, I honestly think Time Star here is decent because it does search us out to the things we kind of want. We can try and pop the back row, but I don't necessarily think that's good. No, we'll go for the Tornado Dragon anyway here. We'll activate the Tornado Dragon, discarding the Purple Poison to destroy this. It ends up being a Witch's Strike. Ooh, that's actually really good for us. We're going to go for the Baron effect. We're just going to pop the Irene. We're going to go to battle. We're going to punch over the Elis. We are going to punch over the Sophia. Thankfully, all of these cards have very low values. We're then just going to go ahead and set a back row, and we're going to pass the turn with Baron, Tornado, and Pendulum Graph set. Pretty good against Exosisters, I would say. We're going to get Harpy's Feather Dustered. I think I'm actually going to choose to negate the Feather Duster here. I don't really feel like having everything blown out, and the scoop is right there! Yeah, like, even if you can just get this far, I know that I could have extended this play a lot further, but I think I would need to go into the graveyard using Oath Dragon to do so, and when I saw Exosisters, I didn't really feel like going that path, so we just went straight forward instead. It has potential! I love the fact that I can play a Pendulum deck to some degree without looking like a complete idiot. Although, that saying, I'm not exactly great at it either. Let's wrap this thing up. Alright, Pendulum Magicians. What do we think about it? Honestly, I love this. Pendulum has gotten a long way. Back from when it used to be completely busted, overpowered, to being completely hard nerfed by the return of the coming of MR5, I guess. Now, with Skullcrobat Joker and Astrograph back, it actually kind of has legs to stand on its own again. Of course, this deck is not in the slightest bit optimized. This is something that my brain came up with basically when I was drunk on coffee, right? If there was one change I'd like to make, I'd probably take out Bagukska and I'd add Redoer instead. Redoer just does more in the situations where I don't have a way of popping Scythe, so I would probably include him instead. Other than that, the deck does really well. We didn't really get to see it do the Selene combo, but considering Sky Strikers does it as well, I'm pretty sure you've already seen it a bunch of times. The deck holds its own. I'm shocked to say, but it really holds its own. If you want a decently fun experiment, I would recommend you play Pendulum Magicians. They're really good. As always, though, if you enjoyed this video, do leave a like, drop a comment, say something funny. If you make me laugh, I'll pin it. As always, stay safe out there. Oh, subscribe as well, by the way. That's kind of important. I'm almost at 2,000. Let's get to 2,000, baby!